Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about natural light for food photography. So we feel comfortable now with our camera and the equipment that we have, so let's get started by adding some light to this food photography mix. Light is really what inspires viewers. It takes that bland image and adds the spice to it. So the strength and the color of light can really tell us the time of day, while the direction can really speak something beyond the frame. Good light needs a few things. It needs a direction, a quality, a source, and a strength. Today we're really going to be talking about the direction and the quality of the light. One of the main issues food photographers have to solve is how to give their food shape. And by shape I mean highlights and shadows. Now, light falling on a subject can help the food photographer in more ways than just illuminating the scene. Good use of light can really separate the food from the background as well as show off its more natural texture. We're going to be looking at two lighting setups today, side lighting and backlighting for food photography. Now, right now the camera is set up in the side light position and likely the most popular direction of the two. If you were to place the camera north or south of your dish, then the side light would come from the east or the west. Used almost exclusively in low-keyed images, side lighting offers a beautiful gradient between the highlights and shadows. And we're able to achieve this nice soft side light by placing this diffuser in front of a large window. So this diffuser is just a diffuser that comes out of a 5-in-1 diffuser reflector kit, and it's held together right now with this stand and an extension arm clamped to the extension arm. It's really useful and gives us this beautiful, nice soft light. Probably the easiest of the two, side light really requires no other additional help. I mean, you could use a white or black card to brighten or darken the shadows depending on your taste or the subject at hand. And that's really easy to do. You just grab your white card and you can move it closer to the subject or take it away to brighten those shadows. Or you could use a black card and give more contrast to the scene. But like I said, it's really the simplest of the two. You basically move your props, move your dish around the table. You have the nice, beautiful light. You get your right exposure, and bam, you're done. Backlighting is a different story. It requires a little more help from the photographer, and we'll see how that is able to be done in just a second. Okay, now here we have the camera set up in its backlighting position. The light is coming from behind the subject and the camera is in front of the subject. This causes some problems that you have to face as a photographer and find solutions for. The biggest problem is that the shadows are going directly towards the camera, so the front of the food will be in the shadow area. Now, to solve that, really all you have to do is grab your white card, and as you grab your white card you can see the shadows become lighter. And you really just find the best position for your white card. That gives you kind of the brightest foreground that you can get. You can see as I take the white card away, the foreground becomes darker, and as I move the white card closer, those shadows fill in, become brighter. So that's a good reason to have a nice white card made out of foam cord, really cheap. You can buy it at any craft store. And just have a couple of them in different sizes around the studio. That way you can really brighten up those shadows if you would like. Another interesting thing about backlighting your subject is a rule called the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection. Now this rule simply states that light strikes an object at the same angle that it reflects off the object. It really tells you where to place your camera or where not to place your camera depending on whether or not you want to capture a reflection of the light. Now this is most evident in shiny objects such as this cake right here, or tomatoes, or lettuce, or fruit, or the juice on a steak. Angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection can be your best friend because it really tells you where to put your camera to get that really nice, juicy reflection on the top of your food. as you can kind of see in these cakes, you can really see it very well from this angle. Right here we have this nice reflection of the softbox in the shiny surface of the cake. You also can see a nice reflection of the softbox in the knife and the fork here. If I was to move the knife a little bit, that reflection would disappear because I'm changing the angle of the subject. Now you can see as I move my camera up or down or left or right, the reflection on the top of the cake will change. It's really nice, a nice full reflection on the top of the cake here. Also a nice full reflection on the knife and the fork. But as I lift my camera up, you can see that that reflection is no longer there. And if I move my camera to the side, you can see that reflection disappear. Knowing this rule is a good way to plan your shoot around that rule. It'll tell you where to move your food, where to move your silverware, at what angle to move your silverware or your props to capture the best light on your subject. Backlighting is really great for foods which are supposed to be fresh or healthy. They're really good at telling those types of stories, such as salads, soups, or drinks. It's because of the reflections that you'll see off of these subjects, and you'll see those reflections because of the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection.